So Anshul, tell us a little bit about what you do. Like, what it's like to be you and working where you do. What's that like?
Well, overall, it's fun. Game development is always fun because you have to be passionate about it. If you're not, then it's just gonna burn you down. That's the truth of game industry. But if you're passionate about it, it's just always fun. You get to work with amazing like designers, artists, programmers, and I'm not gonna lie, game industry actually has best programmers of all the industry. Like we are working to make something which people are going to enjoy. We are not working for people to like, oh, how do we get more clicks? How do we get people addicted to this? We are working to make something that's going to give people a good experience for a while, right? We don't want them to stick to it for like 10 years, unlike other tech industries or like companies, so that's why it's most fun. Like you get to work on different stuff and it changes a lot, right? Like one game to another. Like one day you are working on a sports game, another day you are working on a first person shooter, then suddenly you are on an RPG. You get to work on different consoles. I worked on Oculus a lot, even though before I was like, oh, the VR, whatever. But after working on Oculus, I was like, this is amazing. I don't know from players' perspective, but as a developer, this is so much fun because it's challenging. The things you are doing when working on a device which is totally new to the market, you have so many different challenges, like how do you keep the player engaged, how do you make the movements better, some things which people probably worked on when consoles were new.
Mm-hmm.
They figured out what's a good control scheme which we are now using, so no one is trying to solve a problem of like, oh, which button should we use for jump.
Right, right.
But like if you're on a
Like
new
you're
device,
doing things, you're solving problems that have not been solved before.
exactly, yeah. That makes it a lot more fun. So that's why every time you come across a problem that has not been solved before, no matter how annoying it is, no matter how many days it takes, like especially with game industry, there are a lot of times when you would write code and you would throw it away, you would write code, you would throw it away. It would happen over and over. It's not a one-time thing.
Yeah, and
And
also like not just the work, because I remember from my time in Vancouver when I was at Piranha Games, the studio atmosphere itself is, especially in the West, in the US, it's amazing. Like you have so much stuff. You have a pantry that's full of food that you can go and serve yourself. You can go and play video games. Your working times are flexible. It doesn't feel like work. You know,
yeah.
you go in Monday morning and you want to go into work. And the place is amazing. It's beautifully designed. It's aesthetic. It's not got these cubicles where everyone is kind of stuck, just the game studio space in West is just so energizing.
It is, yeah. It definitely is energizing. It definitely has everything you mentioned. Other than that, there are things like, after work, people are like, oh, let's hang back, let's play some games. So
Yeah,
you are
yeah.
doing that. And then, other than that, it's things like, just your work being okay with like, oh, you're playing games.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like,
yeah, that's part of my job.
honestly, the best
So
experience is for me when a team making games plays games together. And like
yeah,
it doesn't have to be the game you're working on. Like for example,
exactly. No,
when
no one
I was
wants to
at
play the game they
Gameloft,
are working on.
I know you do. Like at Gameloft, I used to be at Gameloft, and we used to play Left 4 Dead. Right, we used to play Left 4 Dead for 1 hour every day among us, and that was amazing. Like when you're playing games with your own team, that's bonding
Yeah,
of a different level.
yeah, that's definitely true. We used to play like we still play. I would say it's not as much when you're working from home because not everyone has same, setup at home. They are remoting into work and everything. But when we were at work, we also have game lounges. You have game lounges. We have a whole arcade. Like we have arcade machines. So it's really so much fun to just go in and even if you're not playing at times, you just stand there watching
Watching.
people
Yeah,
play, hang
yeah.
around. Even that's fun. We have tournaments for Smash, Street Fighter, what else? Mortal Kombat. So it's just we have leagues for them. So that's like, oh, we did this in college, but it's the same at work as well. So it's like, oh, I never left college.